could City end up with by full time today? Well, we're going to find out in round about an hour's time. The half-time score at the Hawthorns: West Brom 0, City 4.
Welcome back to We're Not Really Here. My name is Kyle Walker. I'm joined by Shaun and Andy Morrison as well. Manchester City 4-0 up at half-time at the Hawthorns against Sam Allardyce's West Brom. Andy, what did you make of that first half?
Wow. It's just incredible. It shows what City are capable of doing. We said it so many times that, the 6, 7, 8 chances that they're producing each game, when they're as clinical as that, they're so hard to play against because the goals are coming from so many different areas.
We'll try and break down the first half a little bit. Phil Foden, he hit the post within the first few moments. It was a lively 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yes, and this is what we anticipated. City having possession, dominating it in that final third, and then the creative players starting to get on and ask questions. As you said, Phil floating around in different areas, Mahrez, Sterling. The players, the interchange, and 1 minute we're talking off air and we're saying, it's Mahrez up top. No, 2 seconds later, it's Sterling up top. It's just beautiful to watch because the confidence is there, the way they're moving the ball. Sam Allardyce will be really disappointed though.
How do you think that Manchester City started this game, Andy? How would you assess it?
I think after that initial couple of minutes where, they started quite well, West Brom. There's 2 or 3 throw-ins. They managed to keep City pinned in. But once they got out for the first time, I think we did say now we'll get possession and chances. And it become very difficult for them because we're moving the ball so well. We're so fluid at the moment in everything that we're doing. It's so difficult to play against. And again, when the first chance comes, when City score and take that chance, you're in trouble, especially when we're on the form we are tonight. And, we're just talking about strikers popping up. I mean, Gundogan has popped up in the centre-forward position, and he's had the ball played into him from Cancelo, who's in an advanced midfield position. And it really is special to watch. When they're on fire, when they're playing like this, you wouldn't want to be in the opposition team playing against that.
It hurts me to say, but Andy did call out Cancelo. That he called him out before the game and talking about in the offensive part of the field where he's able to be, his pass and his dribbling, and the pass he's pulled out was absolutely brilliant. And yes, Gundogan, I see you. Because he pops up and the movement, how he sort of, interchanges the ball from left foot to right foot and then just finish it. Andy was saying off air that, he's the best 2-footed player that he's seen. And when you watch him, you think he does things with his right foot and the same with his left foot and as comfortable. And you just think, is he right foot or is he left footed? It speaks how good his technical qualities are.
How much of an impact does it have when you've got a right back who can assist a goal like that, who can provide those passes like he does?
Well, Carl, we spoke about it before the game, didn't we? When we were just saying the qualities that he brings, and it is, further up the pitch, he almost appears as a winger. And it's real quality that he's given in them final. And I've seen that over the last month. Opportunities, he came on at the weekend and within seconds he had an opportunity with his left foot. He created it himself. And it's hard to play against that. You're continually tracking back and trying to stop that. You're trying to stop Sterling, you're trying to stop Mahrez, and then you've got somebody else that's coming in and passing through the lines and causing the problems that he has. I was so impressed with him again.
We need to talk about the second goal. A little bit of controversy, let's say, with that one. There's always conversation that's to be had with offsides. We saw that against Aston Villa. Also, then you're looking at VAR. There's so much conversation that's being had about this and those two things, Shaun.
Yeah, well, the linesman, lineswoman, she's one that I always watch, and I think she's, her standards are very high. I don't often see her make errors or mistakes. And this one, we'll probably look back and she'll look back and think perhaps I could have, delayed the decision a little bit longer. But the rules, today, allowing it to play on, it just gets a little bit. I don't like it. I think if the players, I know in this situation how they've changed it, but if a player's offside, I like for them to say is offside and it's called. And this, they've allowed it to play so VAR can have a look at it, etc. Her problem is the attacking player's on her side, so she's seen the offensive player near her and thinking, I see a lot of blue shirt. A lot of that shirt, and puts the flag up, and that becomes the problem because on the far side, that player has just kept his own side essentially.
For West Brom, though, they should play to the whistle.
Yes, they should. How much it affected them, I'm not sure, because the finish was so good. It was a totally relaxed finish from a player who may have thought had been given offside and just bend it. You see it often. There's no pressure on him, and he just bends it in the top corner. Even when we look back at it on the next still, we still look like it was offside. It's so difficult. But again, we get into what we spoke about before. How long do you leave it? And then how long are you affecting a game before you actually put the flag up when you believe somebody's offside?
We can see the entire West Brom bench warming up there. Big Sam sent them all out to get warm. Andy, you've worked under Big Sam. What will he be thinking right now? 4-0 down at half-time against Manchester City.
It's a terrible position to be in. I can't remember too often in my career where that position arose. For me, the players that are in the West Brom changing room have to insist they stay on the pitch, and I don't want to be bailed out of this now. This could get ugly, but I want to stay with the teammates, and we've got to find a way to make sure we don't lose the second half, because it's a very, very difficult situation they're in. They've been pummeled. They're 4-0 down. They'll want to hide. There'll be players that maybe not want to go back out there, but the manager should give them the opportunity to go out and try and rectify that in some way.
How much of a voice do you have in that situation against the manager, especially one like Sam Allardyce, to have your say about wanting to stay on the pitch?
No, there'll be no say. Sam will make a decision, but I would imagine that he'll give them an opportunity to try and make that right, because, like I say, this could get a really messy night if they're as clinical in the second half, because I think there was maybe 6 or 7 chances. We have had times when there's been 10 and we maybe taken 1. We've had maybe 6 chances and taken 4, which is an incredible return in that opening moments. And again, that's the second half, it's going to be could be a high scoreline. This.
Right, let's talk about the third goal. Gundogan again. We talked about left foot, right foot, then the finish. Feels like Manchester City can pounce on teams that do make mistakes, which just makes them lethal.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of this stuff is worked on. How he just goes into these pockets, into these areas, whether it's him ghosting into a centre forward position or into a pocket, but then having the composure to then say, I'm just going to slot it down the side. This is the cleverness of the player, the technical side, technical ability to get there, because you get a lot of players that can get there and they're thinking, I want to hit it as hard as I can, and that ball doesn't quite go right in the corner, and Johnson is somebody that will be able to get a hand on it. But with Gundogan, that's what you call tackers all day, right in your bottom quality.
Another fact for you, Ilkay Gundogan has scored 7 Premier League goals this season, his best ever scoring season in the top 5 European leagues. He seems to be playing with confidence, Andy.
Yeah, it's the best run of form I think we've seen him in. He's had periods where we've seen his quality, but this run of form at the moment, and we spoke about it before, in tight areas, if you can receive the ball, you always receive it with your strongest foot and maybe get yourself out of trouble. When you can do it with both feet, and when he's pushed and pressed hard, he moves the ball offline with his left as well as his right, and it's unique in what he does. And he's also very good. He picks pockets in the midfield. He waits for defenders or strikers to take a touch when he's defending, and he nicks the ball off him. And in that incident there where it's happened, you'll actually see his anticipation of the touch. He nicks it off him, moves it across his body, and passes it into the net. And he's playing as well. I think this is probably has to be his best run of form, and he looks magnificent.
How important is patience within this Manchester City squad, taking their time and waiting for the opportunity?
To score or get in.
to score or pounce on a mistake?
There's been periods where Pep has really spoke loudly about that. About yes, teams are going to suffocate us. They are going to. We must be patient. Don't allow anxiety to come in and start rushing it and pressing it. We do what we do. We keep the ball. We have our patterns. The rotations are very similar in every game. So just trust in it and wait for the opportunities to arise. But as you get towards 65, 70, and it's still at 0-0, when we have to win every game, it's hard not then to try and start pressing it. And the manager encourages them to trust in the process, and then the end product will be that we'll score goals or we'll create opportunities. There's no guarantee, but we will create opportunities if we do what we do, and they do.
At 3-0, Shaun was saying, that's it. Wrapped up, I've got my prediction perfect. And then Riyad Mahrez had something to say about that with an absolute beauty of a goal. Another player that's playing with confidence. Defenders can't handle him.
No, they can. And, once you allow him to come on that left foot, then it's good night. He gets it set up. The quality he produces. He just puts it in the top corner. This is Mahrez. He's just quality when he comes on his left foot. When I think about Sam Allardyce, I think we were talking and saying that they either have to go to a 5-4-1 or 4-5-1. They really just have got to have two banks so that when the wingers get the ball, that they're facing the first defender essentially is the first of the five in defence. So they've got some work to do. But Mahrez, if they give him time like that, this is what he can do.
You're 4-0 up, you're at half-time, you're away from home, you've got another 45 minutes to go. What's the mindset of these Manchester City players right now?
Well, I'm a striker, so I'm ruthless. So, me and Andy was having a little bit of chat, and Andy was saying, well, this is where you rest and you got the game. I'm saying clean sheet. Andy's saying the same thing, but I'm saying another 15 minutes, go out there, set the tempo, set the rhythm, then I will look to start rotating players, probably around the 60th minute.
Right, we're looking at the substitutes. Zach Stefan, Kyle Walker, Gabriel Jesus, Laporte, Torres, Mendy, Fernandinho, Eric Garcia, Adrian Benabe. There's some of them that are on that bench that will just want an opportunity to come on and show what they can do.
Yeah, listen, I don't know whether they're going. I would imagine they're going to sit in West Brom. They don't want to make this 5-6-7. No manager wants that on his CV. Players don't want it. So I'd imagine it'll be difficult to score goals because they're not going to score 5 and win. So they have to protect themselves in some way. So, but I'd like to say Jesus on the pitch. Strikers live and die by their goals. He got one at the weekend, and it'd been a few games since he got one. He got one at the weekend. Get him on. Get another goal now. Then he's got 2 in 2, and then you're up and running. So it would be forward. I agree with what Shaun said. Keep the clean sheet, keep that continuity at the back, but freshen things up and give lads an opportunity to score goals.
Now, there's been plenty of fixtures already, even today. West Ham beating Crystal Palace 3-2, Leeds United beating Newcastle United 2-1, and currently it's 2-1 to Arsenal at half-time against Southampton. But the Premier League table is forever changing. Manchester City currently sat at top, obviously winning 4-0 currently against West Brom. 41 points, all right, 1 point ahead of the closest rivals, Manchester United. It's a great position to be in, being back at the top of that table.
Yes, it is. I mean, we're not really bothered about the quiet neighbours, we're the noisy neighbours, So, again, being back top is a statement that they know, all the other teams know and understand that City will be here for the long haul.
Right, we want to hear your thoughts, okay? Hashtag WNRH. Share them with us. Let us know your thoughts. Manchester City currently 4-0 up at the Hawthorns against West Brom. Make sure you stick with us. Alistair Mann has got the commentary, and we'll be back at full time to give our thoughts. See you soon.
Well, it's not often that you come out for the second half leading by 4-0.